Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to another Can-Am Spyder video. So it's early in the morning, it's cool, and we're heading out for another big day ride on the Spyder today. So today's trip is going to take us down to the Kingston area, and then we're going to head back home through Prince Edward County, and the rest is kind of unplanned. We'll be meandering along from there. Leslie and I were down in Kingston 3 years ago, so pre-pandemic, and it was right about this time of year because it was very close to Canada Day, which it is right now. Today is June the 27th, so we're getting close to Canada Day, which is July the 1st, which is for our US friends like your July the 4th. So as you can see, I am wearing a heavier jacket this morning. I'm not wearing my summer mesh jacket. I've got it with me, but if you watched my last video on the trip to Perth, you'll remember I overestimated. It was colder than I thought. So I'm a little more prepared this time. I've got my heavier jacket for the start of the day, then I can always change to the summer jacket later on in the day. So hopefully we're going to have a great day. The weather's looking quite nice, a little breezy, a little cool to start, but I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you very much for coming along on the ride with me today. Well, I suppose no Can-Am Spyder video would be complete without those maps you all have come to enjoy. So I'm just going to kind of describe the first part of our trip as I roll down into Port Hope here. So we came out of Fenelon Falls, where I live obviously, and came down through Bobcaygeon, and then we headed south down the eastern side of Pigeon Lake, crossed over Highway 7 just south of Emily Provincial Park, and then down through the little village of Millbrook, and now we're just sort of coming down into Port Hope from the north, and that's where we're going to pick up the 401 and head over towards Kingston. 401 is not normally the route that I would take on our rides, but today I kind of want to get some miles down quickly as I head over towards Kingston. So we'll see how it is. If it's super busy and I'm not happy there, I'll definitely find myself an alternate route. There's lots of different ways to get to where I'm going today. Just that the 401 will be the faster way. So if it's good, I'll stay on it. If it's not, I won't. So that's what our trip looks like, or at least the first leg of our trip looks like, from home to Kingston. So another thing that I'm trying today, and I kind of got this idea from a friend of mine and fellow YouTuber, Yukon Bob. Bob, if you're listening, this is came from your last video where you were out on the Sea-Doo. Bob just got a brand new 2022 Sea-Doo GTX 300. Hope I got that right. Anyway, when he was out on his break-in video recently, he was running the Sea-Doo on eco mode, and he was describing how all that worked, etc. So the Spyder has an eco mode, which I have turned on today, and it's just a little insignia on the dashboard down there that says we're in eco mode, and I'm just trying to see if it actually does make any difference to the way the bike performs, or what kind of fuel mileage we're getting. So we'll have to see as the day goes by. I haven't noticed any performance or acceleration differences. Maybe if I really pinned it hard it might change things, but so far I haven't noticed much of a difference in the performance of the bike in eco mode. I just love this place we're coming into. It's called Welcome. That's the name of the village. Welcome, Ontario. So welcome to Welcome. Well, we just ran onto the 401 at Port Hope, and it looks pretty good. It's not very busy. Hope you can hear the audio okay, because there's a lot more wind noise now that we're doing a little faster speed. Okay, so we're gonna stop for our first break of the day. We've gone about 150 kilometers, and we're gonna stop at this en route here, which are, these things are kind of a fixture on the 401 wherever you go. You need a bathroom break, or you need to get something to eat, or just take a rest, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now, is just take a little bit of a break, stretch my legs, get some water, a little bit of food, and then we'll be back on the road. So if you remember earlier in the video, I was talking about this eco mode on the Spyder that I was trying today. So I was having some trouble figuring out exactly what it did, but I just noticed, just coming out of that little town back there called Odessa, what happens when you have eco mode in is there is a little upshift light comes on above the number on the screen that tells you what gear you're in, so it's encouraging you to shift to the higher gear sooner. So that appears to be one of the features of eco mode on the Spyder. So we are gradually making our way into the older part of Kingston. We came through the inevitable outskirts of cities where all it is big box stores. And now we're getting into the kind of the more downtown area. You can see some of the buildings are pretty nice looking. So what we're doing is we're just sort of navigating our way to a spot where we can park the bike, and then we'll explore the downtown area of Kingston on foot. Well, we have arrived in Kingston, or I've arrived in Kingston. Coincidentally, in the same parking lot that Leslie and I parked in 2019. We're just kind of off to the side of the big City Hall building. You can see the dome there in the background if I get my head out of the way. So gonna go and grab a quick bite to eat, and then we're gonna do a little bit of walking tour and see what's going on in Kingston today. So it's a beautiful day. The weather is actually warmer than what was predicted. It's about 24 degrees, a bit breezy, but very nice. So we're here. All right, we've had our lunch, and now we're down at the Kingston waterfront. Little cruise boat heading out there with a full gang. Well, he's really cooking along out there. So as I said before, we were down here a couple of years ago, but that was still in the early days of the YouTube channel. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more comprehensive coverage of the area when I'm down this time. So we're just going to head over to Confederation Park. See, all these boats are here, getting ready to go out for cruises. And there's a fair number of people down here because it is a Monday, but it is the kind of the beginning of the Canada Day week, so there's probably a lot of tourism going on here. So we're going to head over to Confederation Park and see what's going on. This is kind of the area behind the Kingston City Hall, which is this large building up here, built in the 19th century of a limestone, from what I read. This is St. George's Cathedral. And it's conveniently playing its bell for us. It would have been really nice to be able to fly the drone around here to see some of these buildings from the air, but the Kingston airport is not far from here, so we all know what that means. No drone flying around here. So my goal with this little walk is to get to that building right there. But it looks like you have to walk right around the break wall, because the other access point is via the marina, which is of course restricted to the people that have boats there. So we're gonna have to walk around the break wall to get there. That's okay. A little exercise is good. So this is about as close as I can get to this building. It seems to be encased within the marina, so you can't go out there unless you're a boater. So this is called Shoal Tower, originally known as Victoria Tower. And these towers were built to protect Kingston and the entrance to the Rideau Canal during war times. And there's a number of them around the area, but close enough. As good as we can do. Okay, so we finished our little kind of a walk around downtown in Kingston, and now we're gonna head out towards where the Royal Military College is. And we'll just take a little drive around. I don't think I'm going to stop. I don't think you can actually go into this place unless you're attending it. But we'll go see what's out this way. That is the Royal Military College, right up in there, and we're going to go and take a little boot up into Fort Henry. We were here, I guess 2 years ago on a driving trip, and we actually went into Fort Henry and did the tour. So I'll have to make sure I include some stills from that visit. But we'll just go and take a boot around the parking lot, so to speak. Pretty windy up here for sure, up on the hill. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but it actually is a very, very cool place to visit. There's another one of those buildings that I was talking about down by the shoreline. Probably doesn't show up very good from this distance with the camera the way it's set up. Okay, so we're heading on to the next phase of our trip. I'm just kind of giving you some views of some of these beautiful old homes in Kingston. Some pretty nice pieces of architecture in here. So the next destination, we're going to head into Prince Edward County, which is actually like an island on Lake Ontario, and we're going to actually go for a short ferry ride when we get there, and do some visiting of some spots on Prince Edward County. Also the home of some really nice provincial parks, and a kind of a unique feature which I'll get to when we get there. So if I haven't mentioned before, which I don't think I did, Kingston Obviously one of the historic cities of Canada. It was a real hotbed of activity during the war times of the British, etc., and the French. It's located almost halfway between Toronto and Montreal, and it's right on the extreme eastern end of Lake Ontario, where Lake Ontario joins into the St. Lawrence River. And it is very, very close to the US. It's just right across that body of water right there. You've got, there's a place called Wolfe Island, and then on the other side of Wolfe Island is the US. So we're just heading out of Kingston here on Highway 33, and we're going to follow this road that hugs right along the shore of Lake Ontario. It goes through some various little towns like Bath and Millhaven. And we're eventually going to get to the Glenora ferry dock, where we're going to take a very short ferry ride across to another area of Prince Edward County. And that facility is the Napanee Power Generation Plant. Man, that is one big facility. So we're getting on the ferry at Glenora. Just getting our directions. So this ferry runs every 30 minutes. And we're on. Oh, so there we go, folks. That's the little short ferry ride across onto Prince Edward County. And we're coming into dock. Kind of arranged like a chute, so that the guy just drives it in here on his own. There's not even any people on the side to help him. Back and forth all day long. Okay, so onward to the next phase of our trip. Okay, so we've arrived at the Lake of the Mountain. Unfortunately, it is way too windy, although it doesn't appear it is right now. But if you get up probably just above the trees, it is super windy, so there's no drone going up today. I think if I put that drone up there, it would end up back in Kingston. So I'm going to try and show you what's going on here. So this is going to involve climbing up on this picnic table. Okay, so that's pretty good timing. So that's the ferry that we just came over on. I'm going to hold this way up high, and you can see this landscape. It's way down there, probably a couple of 100 feet. Okay, so now we're just going to walk across the road. That's the park where we were behind me. Make sure I don't get hit by a car on the way over here. And this is Lake on the Mountain. It's fully 200 feet above the rest of the water. I hope that wind isn't blowing that mic away. But yeah, this is a good sized lake up here.
Because I was unable to get my own aerial shots with the drone due to the weather that day, I found an image online that kind of shows this phenomena that is Lake of the Mountain. So this area here is the lake on the mountain, and this area here is the Bay of Quinte. So the difference in elevation between the lake and the bay is over 200 feet or 62 meters. This is the little ferry dock that we departed from to come across, and that is the parking lot that I was in where I parked the bike for this visit. So the generally accepted theory on how the lake was formed is that it is a collapsed doline. A doline is an unusual feature found in areas with a limestone rock formation, and the dolines are cavities formed when the limestone beneath dissolves. Eventually, the roof collapses and a giant sinkhole is created and fills with water. It is believed that the lake is fed by nearby streams and swampy areas. So that's how Lake of the Mountain is said to be formed. It is a pretty neat feature of the area. You've got this lake that's 200 feet above Lake Ontario or the Bay of Quinte. Well everyone, I think that's going to wrap up another Can-Am Spyder video. Had another good day down to Kingston and back through Prince Edward County. Got a little ride on the ferry, got up to see that lake on a mountain and some nice scenery along the way. Another chilly start and chilly end to the day. It was nice when I was in Kingston, it was nice and warm, but toward the end of the ride today, I tell you, it got cold. The bike was reading about 17 degrees Celsius, so that means it was about 15 degrees Celsius. And I had to go back to my heavier jacket here to be comfortable. But can't beat this time of year and riding on the Spyders, so it's all good. So if you enjoy the content that you see on the channel, you might want to consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon so you get reminded when we release a new video. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.